Does everlasting love just sometimes feel like it's a fairy tale?
What if we told you that the secret isn't just luck or chance, but it requires intentional, faith-filled effort?
Our mission here at Inspiring Marriages is to inspire and help couples build their friendship and thus build their marriage and romance.
In this video, we're going to give you tangible steps and spiritual truths to nurture a love that will stand the test of time.
Hey, we would love to hear how long you have been together, so drop a comment below and let us know. Let's dive in. Teresa, it is so important to build our marriages on the rock, and that rock is Jesus.
That's right.
So anybody knows who's making a building, you got to have a firm foundation.
That's right.
Jesus tells us in Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 and 25, he says, anyone who listens to my teachings and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on a solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the flood waters rise and the winds beat against that house, it won't collapse because it's built upon bedrock.
That's so good. Amen. So there are practical things that we can do to build on this rock. You can pray together, study the Bible together, and of course, attend church together.
Key number one of building your marriage on the rock, on a firm foundation, is to have intentional communication. You have to speak life into your spouse. Isn't that right, Teresa?
That's so good. Yes, being intentional in your communication. So that means you need to be open and honest with your spouse. That's so important. And being intentional means you're going to plan ahead what you want to say. Don't just throw things at your spouse and, for a shock effect. You want to be gentle and kind with your words. Right.
Husbands, your wife needs open, honest, and loving communication. She has to have that. It builds her up. It encourages her. You speak life to her when you do that. Here's some practical tips. Practice active listening. When you're talking to your spouse, and even if you're having an argument, the goal is not to beat your spouse in a debate. Because if your spouse loses, you lose. The goal is to come together in all areas of your life, in all areas of intimacy. It's spiritual, it's emotional, it's intellectual, and it's physically. Right, Teresa?
That's right. That's right. So one way to do this is through active listening. You've got to emphasize really hearing your spouse. Don't just be waiting for them to finish talking because I know what I want to say. We're not trying, like Jeff said, we're not trying to have a debate and win an argument. You really need to look at your spouse and give them your full attention and listen to what they're saying. Listen to the heart, what their heart is expressing in what they're saying.
Right. So your goal is never to win an argument. It's never the goal. The goal is to come together. Use the I feel statements. When you say this, I feel this. When you do this, I feel this. So you got to be able to express to your spouse what you're going through, what you're feeling, what you're expressing.
That's right. And that will keep you from just blaming your spouse. You always do this and you never do that. And whenever I come home, this happens. It's going to avoid a lot of that naming and blaming kind of stuff.
Avoid always and never. But use I feel. And you got to have scheduled check-ins. You got to have a time. Try to have it every day. I know it's tough. I know life gets hard and life gets busy. But try to have a check-in every day where you really talk, like beyond the surface area talking.
That's right.
Beyond the schedules and beyond what's going on, beyond the fluff. Get down to the nitty-gritty of what's going on in each other's hearts.
That's so important. That's right. And if whatever time works better for you, it may not be right when you both get home from work or your spouse gets home from work, because that can be a hectic time. So choose a time that works well where you can be quiet and turn off distractions and just spend time together and listen to each other and reconnect for the day.
Right. And we want to, I hate to use the term fight, but fight fair and forgive quickly. Jesus told us in Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, if a believer sins against you, go to them privately. So when you're talking to your spouse, if you have a conflict, don't expose it. Don't expose your spouse to relatives and social media and wherever. Go to them privately and use the active listening, I feel, and your scheduled check-ins to resolve your conflicts. Key number 2 of building your marriage on a firm foundation is cultivating friendship and romance. It's called the joyful journey. Marriage is about commitment, but it's also enjoying your best friend.
Yes, it
Ladies,
is.
your husband has a need for you to be his friend. He gets more enjoyment of doing things with you than he does in any other person in the world. He really does.
That's great. I just love that. And a lot of women may not realize that having fun together and doing fun things with your husband really is a blessing to him. That's important to him, to be a friend. So it's great to have date nights, for the romance side of things. And you can have fun dates, but get together and think about a lot of ideas that you would like to do for dates. It can be, a wide variety, from the simplest things, just playing a board game together, or going for walks, or it could be something fancy and, more expensive, but everything doesn't have to be, high price and
Right.
a lot of expense to it. So, it's supposed to be fun.
Right. You can have a picnic in your living room with no devices.
Right.
Right. Develop shared hobbies and interests. You got to reconnect your mutual enjoyment. Develop hobbies together. Develop interests together. Don't come home and one sits on one's couch, the other one sits on the other couch, doing your own thing. You got to develop interests and hobbies to both enjoy. Serve together somewhere, whether it be at church or a community outreach somewhere. Cleaning up the neighborhood, serve somewhere together.
Yes, that's so important. You feel so bonded doing that and serving people. You both get to enjoy that gratifying sense of, we did something for other people. We reached out to other people and helped. And it can be just something going on in your church that they need people to volunteer, or it could be a certain area of your church ministry where you can just continue to lend a hand and be regular there to serve and volunteer, and it's very rewarding.
Right. And you can't neglect physical intimacy. Wives, one of your husband's major needs is physical intimacy. He feels more close to you when you've been physically intimate. He's more apt to open up to you emotionally when you're physically intimate. Just husbands like your wife, she needs to feel emotionally connected to you to open up to you physically, and it just goes together.
It really does. That's right.
But if you would like a free PDF of fun ways to build your friendship, just drop the comment "Friendship Builder" in the comments below, and we'll send you a link to receive our free PDF on creative date ideas to build your friendship. Key number 3 of building your marriage on the rock is practice forgiveness and resilience. You gotta weather the storms together. You are a team. God has called you to be one. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and be cleaved to join, to be glued to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.
Yes.
So you're together. Your best prayer partner you could ever have in the entire world is right there in the bed with you. So don't neglect weathering the storms together.
That's so true.
No marriage is perfect. Lasting love requires grace, forgiveness, and perseverance. Right, Teresa?
That's right. That's so true. You can't really work as a team and go through a storm together if there's a wedge between you, or there's unforgiveness operating there, if there's resentment, hurts. You've got to work on resolving those things, because when a trial comes, it can't be falling apart in your marriage. You need to both be able to join together and work
Right.
through it together, pray together, and get encouragement together from the Lord and from, people that you look to for
Right.
help. You have to be together when a storm comes, for
Right.
sure.
You got to get rid of the mentality, I'm just going to deal with it myself. That goes out the door as soon as you say I do. You got to fight it together.
So good.
You got to choose forgiveness daily.
Yes.
And it's, you may not feel like forgiving, but forgiveness is a choice. Joyce Meyer said, when you say I'll forgive but I won't forget, you're choosing not to forgive.
Exactly.
You really are. And sometimes you just got to forgive before your feelings are there.
That's right. So we can learn from the challenges we've already been through. You can look back at the course of your marriage, or maybe just the past year, and say, wow, we were able to overcome a challenge together in our marriage, or a challenge with our children. And now if a struggle comes up, if something comes up that's a new challenge, a new thing to go through, well, okay, we've got that history now that we know we can get through things together. We know God will give us answers and show us what to do. So you've got a history now to say, we're going to get through this.
We're going to get through it. You stay together and you hang on to God, you will get through it. And don't put off getting help or support.
Right.
Don't feel ashamed if you need to talk to somebody. Not that everyone needs to hear all your business.
Oh, no.
But seek wise counsel, maybe from your church leaders or a mentor, some Christian mentors you may have, and maybe an older couple in your church who has walked through it. Invite them to lunch, invite them to dinner, and just ask them about their experiences. They can tell you how they got through it. Not that it becomes a dumping session. It's not for that. It's just to learn from someone else.
Right. You can get wisdom from hearing other people's stories about how they overcame a challenge, how they got through things by leaning on the Lord and staying together in their marriage.
Right. You have a 100% chance of having a successful marriage, and you have a legacy of lasting love. So remember,
amen.
So what we talked about today is intentional communication. You got to cultivate your friendship, and you got to practice forgiveness daily. Lasting love is not only possible, it's probable with God, and it's worth the effort.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Now, what is your secret to lasting love? Share your best tip in the comments below. We would love to hear them. And if you're ready to build an inspiring marriages, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to watch some other videos on how to build spiritual intimacy, watch this playlist here. Until next time, remember, husband and wife are friends for life.